recording. Do a share. Okay. Om Tvam Hina Pitavaso
ॐ त्वं हीनः पितावसो
Tvam Mata Shatakratopa
त्वं माता शतक्रतो बभूविथ
Adhate Sumnamimahe
अधाते सुम्नमीमहे
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Okay, so any observations from last time or any doubts?
This week, actually, I could not revise at all. So,
Okay, no issue. Raunak has sent me some long this thing. I haven't looked at it yet. So that I will see later.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll take up the question which Raunak had asked last time about what does Shonak mean? So as I was telling you, it is derived from Shunaka, which means dog, and uh, also could mean a young dog. It was also the name of a sage who was very renowned and who was supposed to belong to the Bhrigu clan. So then Shunak's son would be called Shonak. So that is why I told you related to Shunaka. And but this Shonak, his lineage is not known. This Shonak who is being talked about in this Upanishad, who is probably the preceptor of that. No, he is actually, because the Upanishad is also from that branch of the Vedas, which is named after him. So his antecedents are not very clearly known. It's not right to say that he was the son of that Shunak, but probably he was.
Generally, in our tradition, names have a certain depth also in terms of meaning, and Shwan is not very much considered a.
Shunak,
Uh,
Shunak. See, the the ancient people, they actually gave very simple and small names, not the big words which we are used to today. Even in our generation, we give big names usually, but they gave small ones, and sometimes they were linked to the person in some way. For example, Krishna was dark, that is why he was named Krishna. But you have the name Nakula. Nakula and Sahadev, you would be remembering from Ramayana. So,
Mahabharata.
Mahabharata, yeah, correct. Okay, so Nakul means mongoose. So, the names were not always, I think, related to the person necessarily. If he had some property related to a Nakul, that is why he was called a Nakul, maybe. If something related to a dog was there in this Rishi who was called Shunak, maybe. I don't know how exactly that naming was done, but they were given simple names very often. Even if you see Ram, Sita, these are very, very simple names. 2 syllables, 3 syllables, that's all.
Namaste, Uttaraji. So, what is the meaning of Ram then?
Ram means the one who gives pleasure to everybody. Raman is enjoyment. So looking at him, everybody feels harshit. So that is why he is called Ram. Or he himself is always happy. That is why he's called Ram. But the first meaning is actually the more appropriate one. Okay. So that is one question. Now, what we'll do today is that we'll do the last, the Kandika, which is left in the previous chapter, which we had to complete. And then Anuj's suggestion was that we repeat, we just do charan of all the verses, which I'm hoping Prashanti will lead us. Okay. So this verse is Purusha Evedam Vishwam Karma Tapo Brahma Paramritam. So most people have taken this Purusha as Purushaha, which means Purush, just Prathama Vibhakti Ekvajanam, meaning in nominative case, that that Purush only is all this. But one of the commentators has given Purushe. Unfortunately, in Sanskrit, both will resolve into Purusha Evedam. You cannot, looking at this, be able to figure out whether it is Purushaha or Purushe. So I am going with Purushe, which means in the Purush. So what that means is that in that Purush only, all the karmas, Vishwam Karmam, all the karmas, Vishwam Tapaha, all the tapa, Brahma, this Brahmand itself, or the Vedas, and Para Amritam. That means the Amrit which is beyond everything else, that is Moksha. All these are situated inside him. They are basically under his command. So then, Etad Yaha Veda, who knows this? This means what? That Purusha, Nihitam Guhayam, within his intellect, within himself, in the recesses of the mind, we can say. Okay, but basically that amounts to in the soul. Saha avidya granthim vikirati. He breaks the knot of avidya. So the implication is that avidya will be present in you till you have seen God or the soul, which Yoga Darshan had also corroborated, and Sankhya Darshan also has corroborates that till the time that you have seen the soul, and or actually it becomes and God only, because God we will never see fully, so we start seeing little by little more and more of God. So the one who sees these two, then that avidya, the ignorance, the delusion, which makes us feel that we are our body, that is cut, and we become free, and we become um, uh, candidates for moksha. Iha, vikirati iha, that is also important. Iha is for this body, in this body. Which body? In the human body. So only in the human body, the alternative, the option of moksha is available. In no other body can you even hope for attaining liberation. Therefore, all the sages have said in the Upanishads, and even Angira says here, that don't waste this birth, use it to attain moksha. Hey Somya, Somya meaning Shaunak. This Nihitam Guhayam is that is Guha is a cave. So this Purusha is situated in that Guha, in the cave, is something, is a terminology which comes again and again and again. You will keep finding it in Upanishads because they are derived from the Vedas, and in the Vedas you will find it in many mantras. It says Nihitam Guhayam, that in the cave he is to be found. So that cave is the cave of the soul, in which the soul goes in meditation, sits in meditation, forgets everything else. Just like the cave encloses you and you forget the world, so also in the cave of the soul, you're just with your soul, and that is when you see him. Okay. Is that clear?
So Soumya and Soumya are the same words or they are different?
Soumya and Soumya.
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 Yeah. इसमें एक ओ की मात्रा उसमें औ होता है.
हाँ. Soumya. I'm not very sure whether it is a Sanskrit word. Sometimes apabhrashas arrive, are generated in different languages. If it is there, then again it would be that from Som you derive Somya, and so somebody is called Somya, and then his son is called Soumya. That is a possibility. Okay, typically for students of Sanskrit, if you have what do you call not dirgha,
Vriddhi.
Vriddhi, yes, thank you. If you find Vriddhi in the that is a or o in the first this thing in the first as the first vowel, then that is likely to be a tadit which denotes lineage. There are very few words in Sanskrit which will have a or o in them to begin with.
Vriddhiradeich.
Vidhiradej, correct. Okay, so shall we do the ucharan then?
Shall I share the text for common viewing?
Yes, please. Thank you. Prashanti, are you going to lead us?
I can try, and if I'm going wrong, please do correct me in between.
Don't make it too melodious, otherwise we'll be left behind.
No.
Okay, so Dvitiya Mundak Pratham Khand.
Yeah. We start?
Yeah.
तदेतत् सत्यं यथा सुदीप्तात् पावकात् विस्फुलिङ्गाः.
No, give half a sentence.
तदेतत् सत्यं यथा सुदीप्तात्.
तदेतत् सत्यं यथा सुदीप्तात्
पावकात् विस्फुलिङ्गाः.
पावकात् विस्फुलिङ्गाः
सहस्रशः प्रभवन्ते स्वरूपाः.
सहस्रशः प्रभवन्ते स्वरूपाः
तथाक्षरात् विविधाः.
तथाक्षराद्विविधाः
सौम्यभावाः
सौम्यभावाः
प्रजायन्ते तत्र चैवापि यन्ति.
प्रजायन्ते तत्र चैवापि यन्ति.
दिव्यो ह्यमूर्तः
दिव्यो ह्यमूर्तः
पुरुषः सबाह्या दिव्यो ह्यमूर्तः पुरुषः
दिव्यो ह्यमूर्तः पुरुषः
सबाह्याभ्यन्तरो ह्यजः.
सबाह्याभ्यन्तरो ह्यजः
अप्राणो ह्यमनः शुभ्रो.
अप्राणो ह्यमनाः शुभ्रो
अप्राणो ह्यमनाः शुभ्रो.
अप्राणो ह्यमनाः शुभ्रो
यक्षरात् परतः परः.
ह्यक्षरात् परतः परः
एतस्माज्जायते प्राणो.
एतस्माज्जायते प्राणो
मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च.
मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च
तं वायुर्ज्योतिरापः.
वायुर्ज्योतिरापः
पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी.
पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी
अग्निर्मूर्धा
अग्निर्मूर्धा
चक्षुषी चन्द्रसूर्यो.
चक्षुषि चन्द्रसूर्यौ
दिशः श्रोत्रे
दिशः श्रोत्रे
वाग्विवृताश्च वेदाः
वाग्विवृताश्च वेदाः
वायुः प्राणो
वायुः प्राणो
हृदयं विश्वमस्य
हृदयं विश्वमस्य
पद्भ्यां पृथिवी
पद्भ्यां पृथिवी
एष सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा
एष सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा
तस्मादग्निः समिदो यस्य सूर्यः
तस्मादग्निः यः समिदो यस्य सूर्यः
सोमात् पर्जन्य
सोमात् पर्जन्यः
ओषधयः पृथिव्याम्
ओषधयः पृथिव्याम्
ओषधयः पृथिव्याम्
ओषधयः पृथिव्याम्
पुमान् रेतः
पुमान् रेतः
सिञ्चति योषितायाम्
सिञ्चति योषितायाम्
बह्वीः प्रजाः
बह्वीः प्रजाः
पुरुषात् सम्प्रसूताः
पुरुषात् सम्प्रसूताः
तस्मादृचः
तस्मादृचः
यजुषि दीक्षा
सामयजुंषि दीक्षा
यज्ञाश्च सर्वे
यज्ञाश्च सर्वे
क्रतवो दक्षिणाश्च
क्रतवो दक्षिणाश्च
संवत्सरश्च
संवत्सरश्च
यजमानश्च लोकाः
यजमानश्च लोकाः
सोमो यत्र
सोमो यत्र
भवते यत्र सूर्यः
पवते यत्र सूर्यः
तस्माच्च देवा
तस्मात् देवा
बहुधा सम्प्रसूताः
बहुधा सम्प्रसूताः
दाध्या मनुष्याः
साध्या मनुष्याः
पशवो वयांसि
पशवो वयांसि
प्राणापानौ
प्राणापानौ
व्रीहिययौ तपश्च
व्रीहियवौ तपश्च
श्रद्धा सत्यं
श्रद्धा सत्यं
ब्रह्मचर्यं विधिश्च
ब्रह्मचर्यं विधिश्च
सप्तप्राणाः
सप्तप्राणाः
प्रभवन्ति तस्मात्
प्रभवन्ति तस्मात्
सप्तार्चिषः
सप्तार्चः
समिधः सप्तहोमाः
समिधः सप्तहोमाः
सप्त इमे लोका
सप्त इमे लोका
येषु चरन्ति प्राणा
येषु चरन्ति प्राणाः
गुहाशया
गुहाशयाः
निहिताः सप्त सप्त
निहिताः सप्त सप्त
अतः समुद्रा
अतः समुद्रा
गिरयश्च सर्वे
गिरयश्च सर्वे
गिरयश्च सर्वे
गिरयश्च सर्वे
मात्
अस्मात्
अस्मात्स्यदन्ते
अस्मात् स्यन्दन्ते
सिन्धवः सर्वरूपाः
सिन्धवः सर्वरूपाः
अतश्च सर्वा
अतश्च सर्वा
ओषधयो रसश्च
ओषधयो रसश्च
येनैष
येनैष
भूतैस्तिष्ठते
भूतैस्तिष्ठते
यन्तरात्मा
ह्यन्तरात्मा
पुरुष एवेदं विश्वम्
Purusha evedam vishwam
Karma tapo brahma paramritam.
karma tapo brahma paramritam
Etadyo veda nihitam guhayam.
etadyo veda nihitam guhayam
So vidya granthim vikiratiha somya.
so vidyagranthim vikiratiha somya.
Sorry for few mistakes.
Hey, no, it
Next
came
No,
time
not
it
at
Very
will
all.
be
beautiful.
better.
Thank you.
That's it. So in this last one, I also wanted to tell you that see what are the things that have been listed over here. That is Vishwam Karma, Tapa, Brahma, and Paramritam. These are all linked with moksha. So moksha is attained by proper karma, by tapa, by austerity, by having self-control, and Brahma, that is Vedas, by following the path which is given by the Vedas, and of course the result of that is Amritam, that is moksha. Amritam means not dead, which is beyond death. Sorry. Okay, Anuj, you can stop the share, I think. So now we will move on to the Dvitiya Khand of the Dvitiya Mundak.
One small question, Uttaraji.
Mm-hmm.
They say karma which also should lead to the moksha. Does that the karma only means the attaining the knowledge about the Parabrahman, or what kind of karma are we talking about?
So these are good karmas, including performing yajnas, because if you don't perform those karmas, you will not even become eligible for moving on to the stage of austerity and meditation. So these are karmas which are to be performed. So you have to be a good person in deed and in thought. Then only you can aspire to attain moksha.
Okay. So it's like the
Yeah, so it's not it's not a direct consequence, but it is an indirect
consequence. Yeah. Thank you.
So we'll say the first verse now. Avihi sannihitam
avihi sannihitam
guhacharam nama
guhacharam nama
mahatpadam matratat
mahatpadam atraitat
samarpitam
samarpitam
ejat pranam
ejat pranam
nimishacha yadejat
nimishaccha yadechat
janatha sadasat
janatha sadasat
varenyam param
varenyam param
vijnanadyat varishtham
vijnanadyat varishtham
prajanam. Okay, so this now is a description of God. So Avihi is Sakshat, is directly witnessable. Sannihitam, he is close. Guhacharam Nama, his name is the one who roams in the Guha or is situated in the Guha, the cave. Which cave? The cave of the mind, as we saw. Mahat Padam, it is a pada we understand as food, but actually the main thing is the meaning. The real meaning of this pada means that which should be attained, praptavya, a goal. So it is a great goal. It is the greatest goal, in fact. Atra etat samarpitam. In that, all this is situated, which is covered in the next part of the sentence. Ejat, that which moves. Ejat actually means trembles, but it also works for that which moves. Pranat, which breathes. Nimishat, which blinks. So, Ejat, that which vibrates even. Okay, so even atomic particles and all the large bodies in this universe which move. So all of inanimate matter. Then pranat, that which breathes. So there are many things like the trees which breathe but which do not blink. Like that, you have many animals like worms and such things which do not have eyes, even which they can blink. Even fishes don't have. So, so those which have prana, all animals, all living things have. But even by blinking, the higher forms of life are given. Yad etat janatha. So these are all situated within this God, which is described in the first part of the sentence. So yad etat janatha, the one who knows this Purusha, sad asat, who is sat and asat, who is varenya. I will just describe these. Again, we will start from the beginning, all these terms. Vijnanat param, who is beyond Vijnana. Vijnan is typically science, that knowledge which is of this world. So he is beyond the knowledge of this world. Now you see over here the usual question which comes up, that we don't see God, why should we believe in him? So it's already admitted that he is beyond this world, beyond science. You cannot find him if you are looking through the doorway of science. Yad varishtham prajanam, that of all the living beings that are there, he is the greatest. Since living beings involve consciousness, and he is also a conscious being, that is why now the comparison is between conscious beings. So among these this multitude of conscious beings, he is the greatest. So coming back, avihi sannihitam guhacharam nama. So he is called guhachara because he is to be found in the guha of your mind. So that sakshat karan, that avihi, and that closeness, sannihitam, will happen only when you sit in meditation and observe him in your mind. That is why this guhachara is also given. That you have to actually roam in your internal recesses in your soul, and then you will see him. So he is the great goal which you have to achieve, and for that now he describes to you what is it that you are looking for. He is what is enclosing this universe. He is inside and outside. So all the objects which are inanimate and the animate objects all are lying within him. And Sat and Asat. He is Sat means he has existence, and he is also Asat because he does not exist in the way you and I understand, that that which can be determined by some means. He is not like that. He cannot be determined by any means. And this only is further explained by Vijnanath Param. So that is why he is called Asat. And Varenyam, that which should be sought, which should be looked for, something which is worth seeking and accepting. Once we find him, then his properties also we should try and imbibe. So that is Varenyam. And Varishtam Prajanam, that is simple enough. So this is the kind of God whom we should look for in our guha, in our little universe which is sitting inside. Okay. So for the Sanskrit students, one small note: this Janatha is not a Paninian form. People have taken it as lat lakar bahuvachanam, madhyam purush, but I don't think that is right. I think it is actually lot lakar atmanepadi and ek vachanam only, which works out to jani tha, and that has been taken as jani tha here. So as we are seeing, there are several verb forms here which are quite unique. They are actually not covered by Paninian grammar. I don't know if you people noticed there was one word which had come, tishthate. Tishthate was also Atmanepadi roop is not actually as per Panini. Panini has given it as a Parasmepadi verb. So tishthate was not a Paninian form. But Pani had given one clue to when to use Atmanepadi and when to use Parasmepadi. And Parasme, it is actually enclosed in the words only, that when it is for another, then you use the verb in that form, Parasme. And when it is for yourself, then you use it in Atmani. So there was a lot of liberty in those early days to change the forms according to what your need was. So Tishtate over there, if you see, where was it? I have forgotten. That it is actually for oneself. That is why it has been converted to an Atmanepadi form, because it is applicable to me. Okay, we will come across some more as we proceed. In fact, we will come across this very interesting verse, which is our national motto, that is Satyameva Jayate, which is in fact incorrect.
No,
Okay.
again, because of Varsha Prayoga, Atmane Paditva is allowed, same way.
No, it is taken from here, and here it is Satyameva Jayati. It is not my this thing. Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Tell.
Here, it is said that Ishwar is Vijnan se bhi, Ishwar is beyond Vijnan also, right? So I have seen that Vijnan is defined differently by different rishis. Like Maharishi Dayanand says, Vijnan includes the knowledge of Ishvara. And in Sankhya Darshan, we say Gyan is about the Ishwar and Vijnan is about the world's knowledge. And here he says Vijnan, Ishwar is beyond Vijnan. So how this alignment can
It
take
is
place?
like that in Sanskrit. It's that way only. Nothing is very sacrosanct. So you have to
Fluid.
accept it
Everything is
by
fluid.
context. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question.
Yadachimat. Tell me, Prashanti.
Guhacharam, here, do they only mean one whom you need to find in your mind, or one who is also moving in your body or in your heart?
So heart, firstly, if you mean the physical heart which pumps blood, then
No. I mean to say the one who is within you, who is moving within you as a prana shakti, or however you call it. Here, guhacharam, like guha as in our body, is that could that also be a reference here, or it is only about finding him in our cave of the heart or cave of the mind, whatever you call it?
It is the cave of the mind only. It is not the body in general. The body is never called a cave, number one. So only the mind is called a cave for the reason which I just told you in the previous shloka. Because you are focusing now, and you are just thinking of one thing. So that is why it is called a cave. Here, as you know, God is omnipresent.
Yeah.
It's not as if he's limited to your mind. Right?
Correct.
So how does what do you mean by saying that he is only moving around in your mind? It is for this purpose only, that you are to find him over there. You will not find him in a stone statue. You will not find him in a tirtha. You will not find him in a guru. You will not find him anywhere but in yourself, in your mind. Only when you turn your eyes inwards will you see the Lord. Till your eyes are turned outwards, there is no finding him.
Mm.
You are equating him to things which he is not. So
Mm.
he is only, that is why all the Upanishads that you would have seen in Kat we saw, in Cain we saw, in Prashn we saw, in Isha we saw, all of them say the same thing. Nihitam guhayam. He is hidden in the cave of your soul actually. It is not even your mind. He is hidden in the cave of your soul. When you cut out all your senses, when you cut out all thinking, then only the soul will shine. And in that radiance, you will also see the radiance of God.
Okay.
So never get confused on that point. Never equate something else to God. Please try avoiding worshipping also anything else as God. Okay. Yad archimat,
Yadarchimat,
yad anuphyonu cha,
yadanupyonu cha,
yasmin loka nihita lokinascha,
Yasmin
loka nihita
lokanihita
lokinascha,
तदेतदक्षरं ब्रह्म
तदेतदक्षरं ब्रह्म,
स प्राणस्तदुवाङ्मनः
सप्राणस्तदुवाङ्मनः,
तदेतत् सत्यं
तदेतत् सत्यं,
तदमृतं
तदमृतं,
तद्वेधव्यं
तद्वेधव्यं,
तद्वेद्धव्यम्
सौम्यविद्धि
सौम्यविद्धि
यत् अर्चिमत्, that which is radiant. Archi is radiance, light. That which is radiant. Yat adubhyo anu, which is subtler than the subtlest. Anu does not always mean atom, but subtle. So it is subtler than the subtlest. Yasmin loka nihita lokinasya, in which all the habitats and the inhabitants are situated. So, as we have seen, loka refers to the bodies, and the lokin is the soul, which will become loki in your prathama vibhakti ekvachanam. So, all the souls and their bodies, all beings are located within him only. Tad etat aksharam brahma. So, I think the first time in this Upanishad, God is also being addressed as Brahma. So he is that Akshara, that indestructible, that Brahma, that is large. He is larger than the universe. So it is absolutely appropriate to call him large. Sa pranas, tadu vangmana. He is prana and he alone is vani, speech, and mana. Again here this is an alankar. You should not take it as he is prana, just like Prashanti was mentioning just now. Is he the life force which is running through our bodies? No, this is an alankar which is saying he is the one who is controlling prana. He is the one which is controlling speech and thought, because these are the most important things which are there in a being. They have been listed out. Firstly, your in breath and out breath, that the moment God decides, a pran stops. The moment he decides, a baby gets life. And speech and thought, these are our two most significant karmas. So those are also dependent on him. Not dependent in the sense that what you speak is determined by him, but you have been given the power of speech by him, and you have been given the power of thought by him. Tadetat satyam. Satyam, this here, by the way, I have been telling you that tadetat satyam means that this satya, that this truth refers to something else. And here everybody has had to agree that this Satya refers to God, and it's not. It does not mean that this is true, that God is Amritam, etc., etc., which is what the meaning they've been taking so far. Twice before we have come across this phrase Tadetat Satyam. So here everybody agrees that Etat Satyam means that this is Satya, the ultimate reality, the ultimate truth. Tad Amritam. He is without death. Without death meaning he is never born. He is not roaming among us. Tad Vedhavyam. He is to be pierced. Like you take an arrow and pierce a target, like that he has to be pierced by you. Somya Vidhi. O Somya, O Shonak, know him. So that Satya, that Amrit, that which is worth piercing, you should pierce him. Essentially, that is what he's saying. How you have to pierce? A pierce will come in the next couple of shlokas, which are my favorites actually, if you ask me. So here I want to also draw your attention to the fact that this Vedhavyam and Vidhi, this you can see the similarity in the terms, right? So this is also an alankar which is called anuprasa, where consonants are repeated in typically the same order for creating beauty in the speech. So this is one of those alankars. Okay. Any other question is there? So in the previous, the first verse, actually a part of it is from Atharved directly. As you know, this Upanishad is related to Atharved, and that Shaunakya Shaka of Atharved is also of Atharved. So this the mantra which is related to Atharved is actually very, very similar, and it says Avihi Sannihitam Guha Jaran Jaran Nama Mahatpadam Tatredam Sarvam Arpitam Ejat Pranat Pratishtitam. So it is actually simpler. The main difference actually is instead of Guhacharam, it says Jarat, which means very old, very ancient. So because he is the oldest of everything, before anything was born, God was there. That is why Atharveda has called him Jarat. But Angira wanted to tell us about where to find God, and this whole section now is about the finding God. So he has changed that portion into Guhacharam.
Uttara, sorry, I got disconnected for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What is it you were saying should be pierced? Sorry.
Same, everything which is said in this Archimat, Anu, and Aksharam, Brahma, Pranaha, Vang, Manaha, Satyam, Amritam.
Achha, so you have to go beyond all this, right?
No. These are all now adjectives of God. So basically that God has to be pierced.
Okay.
Basically meaning you have to attain him. You have to find him and be with him.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So we are into the third verse. Dhanurgrahitva Panishadam
Dhanurgrahitva Upanishadam
Mahasram
Mahastram
Sharam Hyupasa
Sharam Hyupasa
Nishitam Sandhayita
Nishitam Sandhayita
Ayamyatad
Ayamyatad
Bhavagatena Chetasa
Bhavagatena Chetasa
Lakshyam Tadevaksharam
Lakshyam Tadevaksharam
Somya Vidhi
Somya Vidhi.
So this now is another alankar which I will explain you once we study this, which is comparing two things. So the literal meaning is like this: Dhanuhu grahitva, grasp that bow, Upanishadam. That bow is Upanishadam. That means it is of the Upanishad. Maha Astram. It is a Maha Astra. It is a great weapon. Sharam hi upasa nishitam sandhita. In that you place the arrow which has been sharpened by upasana, by sitting close to him. Ayamyatat, extending the string. Bhavagatena chetasa, by a mind that is totally involved in him, is completely in him, absorbed in him. Lakshyam tad eva aksharam, Somya Vidhi. Oh Somya, know that the target of this arrow is that akshara only. Okay, so this he has described the scene of a warrior who is standing with a bow and an arrow, and he is trying to pierce God, connecting this with the previous verse. Now, what are these bows and arrows? This is explained in the next verse. Pranavo dhanuho,
Pranavo
Pranavo
Dhanuhu.
Dhanuhu.
charo hyatma,
Sharohyatma.
brahmatallakshya muchyate,
Brahmatallakshya
Brahmatallakshyamuchyate.
apramattena vedhavyam,
Apramatena
Pramatena
vedhavyam.
vedhavyam.
charavattanmayo bhavet.
Charavattanmayo
Sharavattanmayo
bhavet.
bhavet.
So he says Pranavaha Dhanuhu, that the bow is Pranava. Pranava is the japa of Om, the Ucharan of Om, that is japa of Om. If you remember in Yoga Darshan also, Patanjali had said that you have to do abhyas of japa. So japa is that of Om itself. So when you sit for meditation, you should repeat Om several times before you slowly move into pondering on Him.
I'm not able to remember, but one of the Upanishads also gives a equivalent of Harani, like with Pranavam.
Correct. That was in Kathopanishad only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sharaha hi Atma. That uh, arrow is your soul. Brahma tal lakshyam uchyate. And Brahma is the lakshya. Okay, so you have the target, which is Brahma. It is your soul, which is the arrow, which is now being pulled by the bow, which is Pranava or Upasana. So through Upasana, you give yourself force to go and pierce him. Apramattena vedhavyam. He is to be pierced with great care, without faltering, without giving up, being very, very steadfast. This is the most important quality actually of a person who is seeking God, because as we have seen before, it is like a ice mountain that you climb with difficulty, but you slip most easily. So you have to make sure that every foothold and handhold that you use, you only move up and never give up. So the Ashtang Yoga tells you about Yama, Niyama, etc., etc. So all those have to be followed to the dot. At no point of time can you give up on even one of them. So that is why apramattena vedhavyam. Your focus, just like the warrior has to be absolutely focused in order to get the target right, you also have to be absolutely focused. Sharavat tanmayo bhave. Like an arrow, you should become him only. You should, in your upasana, you should become like him. like him. Clear, your entity will remain different, but you should just be full of him. You should be able to feel his presence. Okay,
So
so
this
two
explains why the word pierce was used earlier.
yes. So we are seeing the pierce word starting from the second verse onwards, and in that verse it was not clear. Now in third and fourth it has become clear. So I wanted to tell you about this this upama also, but before that, do you have any question on these two verses?
So pierce basically doesn't always mean killing and all. It also can mean
No, here it means embedding. Embedding in him.
yeah.
This is the Hindi word beendna.
भेदन करना, भेदन करना.
हाँ, भेद दो या उसको बींद दो. Beend is actually the word which is directly derived from with. With is the root here, and beend is an apparanch of that.
Vad is also derived from with, no?
No. Vad is vad.
Achha.
Yeah, this is with.
But still, Pierce seems a little aggressive, not like some other word.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
Despite being aggressive, it looks like
To be equated to merging.
Yeah, some other word like that would be.
That merging is the idea that, and he wants to show you the focus and how it is. So the implement is that bow, and you are the arrow, and the focus is also what is very important. You know of that Arjun story of the fish eye. So that focus is what he's actually pointing to, and then the arrow has to achieve its target. That is the idea. It is not to pierce God or anything.
Speed also, like focus, speed. The arrow goes with a very sharp speed.
Yeah. So speed also, I doubt there is a connotation over there, because speed will be each to his own, and it's not. While it is very good to head for him very fast, but you can take your time as well.
So this is Upma Alankar, Uttaraji.
So I wanted to tell you this Alankar over here is generically, you can call it Upama, which I think all of you are familiar. In English, it is called a metaphor. But this is actually a more deeper form of Upama called Rupak, where you say that this thing is that only. In Upama, you say that this thing is like that. So in English, actually, it is simile and metaphor. So in the simile, you compare, and in metaphor, you say it is that only. So these are all, of course, derived from Indian knowledge only. So Upama is where you say it is like that, and in Rupak, you say it is that form only. Okay, so I had actually got some Hindi songs for you, some Bollywood songs. So when you say Chand sa Roshan Chehra, so that Chand sa Roshan Chehra, that is an upama. Okay, but when you say Chaudhvi ka Chand ho, okay, you are the moon of the 14th night.
Good research, Uttara.
So that is a Rupak. Rupak, as the name denotes, is having that form. So you make no distinction between the thing which is being compared and the thing which is being used to compare it. Both have become equal in that sense. So here in the third verse, it is a Rupak Alankar, where you are saying that you pick up this dhanu, this bow, and this is the arrow. Even in the fourth one, where you say pranav is the dhanu, and this is the arrow, and this is the bow, and this is the lakshya. So this is called Rupak Alankar.
Actually, using your example of distinguishing between Rupaka and Upama, Appaya Dikshita in his Kavya Alankara Kriti has done something similar to what you have done. He has just taken one scenario and described it in some 20 different ways as if it fits the different Alankara. Same thing, like the moon, which is the face of a lady or something like that. Less like you played with, I mean, it's brilliant. I will try to share it.
Okay, do that.
We will not forget now Rupak and Upma.
So even in the Vedas, you will find this Rupak Alankar, and it's a very heartwarming almost Alankar, because it compares directly. It just says this is that, that is that. So that is very beautiful. And this particular Rupak is really lovely, and do think over it. This is how we have to attain God.
Just going back to the Vidhi again, like all of us are having objection to Vidhi of the God itself. Are we is he referring to Avidya Granthim Vidhi?
No, see, the Vidhi is explained over here. Sharavat tanmayo bhavet. Just like the sharp pierces a thing and then is situated inside that. Similarly, you should actually,
you pierce through your arrow and then just merge
be
with it.
the target. You become the target only. Okay, you are now part of the target. So that is why actually that Vidhi makes sense. It is to indicate that you are now inside him.
Okay.
Okay.
The pranava happens to be the bow and arrow, is it? Pranava.
Pranava is only the bow.
Bow.
Pranavo dhanu. Sharu hi atma.
Pranava dhanu.
Yeah, Sharu hi atma. Shara, that is the arrow, is a soul. So the arrow has to be put on top of the bow of upasana.
Okay.
That means you have to perform upasana, and then that upasana will take you towards your lakshya. In fact, this in the third was this ayamya, which is put, that is extend it, stretch it. That is also a very beautiful word. That what you see in pranayama, that ayama, yama is a means gati. It's a gatyartak dhatu, but here ayamya is extension. So extend it. So just like in pranayama, you extend your breathing. Yeah. So like that, you stretch the bow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think we'll call it a day here. Any more questions are there? No.
No questions, but just realized how much work needs to be done to sharpen that soul, which is filled with so many karmas and so much of.
Yeah, it's a very, very difficult job. I agree with you.
Maybe
In
that's
fact,
why.
what
Maybe
just
that's
Prashanti
why
just
he has
said
put
is
the
very
term.
unique and very beautiful. That she said, because soul is Shara, so we need to sharpen it also.
Yeah.
Yes, it is actually upasa nishitam. Did I not clarify it? That
Yeah.
that it has to be sharpened by
The
upasana.
upasana. Yeah, with the upasana, only all the vasanas and everything will
Yes.
go away, and the soul starts becoming sharper and sharper. I mean, the arrow becomes sharper and sharper.
Yeah. Really. Okay. Om Yate Rudra Shiva Tanur.
Om Yate Rudra Shiva Tanur
Aghora Papakashini.
Aghora Papakashini
Dayanastanva Shantamaya.
Dayanastanva Shantamaya
Girishanta
Girishantabhichakashihi.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Pray to the Lord that He accepts us, goes to Him at the earliest.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uttara.
Uttaraji.
Thank you.
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद, Ruchiraji.
Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste to all.